our nation around. Pay our debt with interest, and a new black nation will resound. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's compensation. I say, yeah, 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 yeah. Humiliation. Degradation of the nation. We will be free. No longer in poverty. One God, one aim, one destiny. Oh, yeah. It's time for healing to take place in the land. Too many have given their lives for the dream. It's time for us to become one nation. Charity starts at home. Do it for our children, for our future. I'm no rivers. I'll climb mountains.
And now, back to the Mildred Gaddis Show on 105.9 KISS.
Americans are still reeling from the reality of the Texas school shooting last week, killing 19 students and 2 teachers. A lot of controversy, as one would expect, has emerged from this situation. And one, of course, has to do with what in the world do you do with the gun laws? And the Republicans lined up very, very quickly saying it's not about the guns. But let's go to Texas and see, for those who may have been in a tunnel somewhere, totally unfamiliar with the story. Let's update.
The police response to Tuesday's horrific shooting at Robb Elementary School. That shooting killed 21 people, 19 children, and 2 teachers. Investigators now say waiting to enter the classroom was, quote, the wrong decision. They say the commanding officer on scene transitioned the situation from an active shooter to a barricaded suspect and waited for backup. We've now learned officers stood by for 45 minutes as children trapped inside the classroom with the gunman repeatedly called 911. The terror didn't end until federal Border Patrol agents pushed inside and killed the gunman. Omar Villafranca is in Uvalde with more.
Even with 19 officers outside the classroom, including members of a federal Border Patrol tactical unit ready to engage the shooter, the decision was made to wait.
Of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
With officers a few feet away, teachers and students made repeated 911 calls from inside the classroom, begging for police to come and help them.
She's called back and said there was 8 to 9 students alive. Student, child, called back. Was told to stay on the line and be very quiet. She told 911 that he shot the door. She asked 911 to please send the police now.
You had 911 calls at 12:10, 12:13, yes. 12:16. The shooter wasn't killed until 12:50. Did any of those 911 callers survive?
Yes.
Both?
I can't tell you that with certainty, but more than one survived.
Days later, and new details are still coming out on what happened Tuesday morning. Investigators say after the shooter crashed a car near the school, he got out and shot at a funeral home across the street, and then at the school itself. He then hopped over a fence and entered the school building through a door that had been propped open by a teacher. And the original story on how a school resource officer was the first to engage the shooter turned out to be wrong. Investigators say the school resource officer was not even on campus. The new details have forced Texas Governor Greg Abbott to answer questions on why he initially praised the police response hours after the shooting.
The information that I was given turned out in part to be inaccurate, and I'm absolutely livid about that.
The changing narrative on what happened and details on why police waited to enter the classroom has many Robb Elementary parents astounded and angry.
As a mother, I would do that. Which I don't understand is why they did it. And why?
That's their job, to put themselves in risk.
Christian and Jessica Garcia's daughter, Kylie, survived the shooting. But now the family and many in the community are questioning why police didn't act sooner.
Why didn't they make the right decision? Why didn't they go in? They got their own assault rifles. They got their vests. That's their job. That's what they're there for. Just nothing, no words to describe, not disappointed.
I'm telling you something right now. Jesus.
An anonymous donor has donated $175,000 to cover the funeral expenses of the 19 children and 2 teachers who were killed. And tomorrow we're expecting President Biden to visit Uvalde to pay his respects. Lana?
Omar, people hear your reporting, especially when you were asking those questions about the 911 calls, and they are crushed. They are furious. Do we know anything more about why officers did not confront the gunman sooner?
Well, we're learning that the Uvalde ISD police chief was the commanding officer and at the scene and held the federal tactical unit back because they had now declared that he had declared that area a barricaded suspect and no longer an active shooter, and was waiting for more reinforcements to come in.
Omar, in your report, we saw Governor Abbott say he is livid about being misled on the initial response to the shooting. Do we know exactly who misled him?
We can walk out of this place.
Well, we know that he is talking to the top officials here in the state. We're talking Texas Rangers, Department of Public Safety, and he's talking to local officials there as well. So those are the people on the ground who are giving him that information. As they interview more people, they're getting new information. But the original narrative that Governor Abbott put out is completely wrong.
If you saw that response segment from the governor of Texas immediately after the shootings, he was so arrogant with his defense of the police, which really reminds us that, first of all, you've got to be very careful, because in situations like that, in a crisis, your initial information is rarely accurate. That is why most times journalists are very careful what they report, because it's chaotic. It's always chaotic. And you can't necessarily get all the facts, and mostly facts, in situations like that. And again, if you get a chance to go back and watch that video, you really should. He was pretty arrogant about it. The update on this story is there were parents who met with the governor. There's one mother who said, no, I'm not meeting with the governor. What are the lessons here? You have a husband of one of the dead teachers, had a heart attack. Family members say he died of a broken heart. And that pretty much seems to be the case. It was just too much for him. So that's really a total of 23 people deceased after this situation. I ask you, in the time that we have left here this morning on the Mildred Gaddis Show, what are the lessons? What are the lessons? We know that the shooter was able to jump a fence and walk into a classroom, into a building, walk into a school building. You have the NRA meeting in Texas yesterday, and the Democrats, carpe diem, seize the day, seize the moment. This is a time that Democrats in this midterm election can really drive home the fact that these Republicans won't change the law. They won't amend the laws. They're unwilling to create new laws that protect the children. You will have people saying, this 18-year-old should never have been allowed to walk into any establishment and purchase assault weapons. And they're saying it's not the guns, it's the people. It's a great moment during these campaigns for you to put these Republican candidates, put them on stage, get them to say where they are on this. And, think about it for a moment. These men, these white men, their hearts are so hard. And I'm not talking about all white men. I'm talking about these senators, Ted Cruz couldn't get to a microphone fast enough to talk about he's unwilling to change anything about the gun laws. Their hearts are so hard. They are unwilling to even demonstrate any empathy for what has occurred with these children. And be very clear, this won't be the last one. Over and over again, we've witnessed copycats. Give me a call at 568-1059, 568-1059, and tell us, where do we go from here? What do you think should be done? Or do we throw our hands up and say, I think the gun lobby, the gun industry, and the pharmaceutical industry are perhaps the two most powerful, let me add insurance industry. They are the three most powerful industries in the country in terms of impacting votes in the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House, in terms of how they finance the political campaigns of these individuals. And so they get their quid pro quo. So the NRA, very, very powerful, seems still unwilling to bend. Let's talk about it, Detroit. 568-1059. What should occur? Are there any changes? How do we navigate our way through this? We want to hear what you have to say at 568-1059.
Hello there. Thank you for calling the Mildred Gaddis Show. May I please have your name?
Linda, you're on the air. Linda? Tell you what, we're going to take a very quick break and we'll be right back.
What time is it? It's a Remember the Time Old School Mini Mix Weekend on KISS. This Memorial Day weekend, KISS FM has the soundtrack for your celebration. We're spinning all your favorite old school R&B and hip-hop hits in the mix. And speaking of the time, we've got your chance to win tickets for the KISS FM Funkapalooza, featuring Sheila E., the Prince Tribute Band, Purple Rain, and starring Morris Day and the Time, Sunday, July 17th at the Michigan Lottery Amphitheater. Just listen all weekend at 20 after the hour for the keyword to text and win, powered by New Day Entertainment and the station that's bringing the fun. 105.9 KISS FM.
Join AARP and the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy for the Detroit River Walkers Free Series on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. beginning June 7th. We meet at Cullen Plaza on the Riverwalk. Stop by for free fitness classes and health screenings. On June 14th, special guest Ernestine Shepard, the world's oldest female bodybuilder, will lead the walk. To learn more, go to aarp.org/MI.
It's the Polo and Pretty Women Charity Classic, Sunday, June 12th at the exclusive Detroit Polo Club. Come see the elite charity polo match with tip-off at 1. Also a fashion show by Detroit's top designers, along with the summer's largest lawn party with the sounds of DJ Jinx. Limited advance tickets on sale now. Available at poloandprettywomen.com. Drinks, baskets, and picnic items welcome, but no glassware, metal utensils, or grills. Don't miss Polo and Pretty Women.
Michiganders 50 and older, Detroit Parks and Recreation presents the return of the 36th Annual Detroit Senior Olympics, June 13th through the 15th. Events include 3-on-3 men's and women's basketball, bowling, golf, pickleball, swimming, track, and more. Even arts and crafts events. Spectators, volunteers, and vendors welcome too. Register today at detroitmi.gov/recreation. The 36th Annual Detroit Senior Olympics, June 13th through 15th. Register at detroitmi.gov/recreation.
The Wayne County Suicide Prevention Coalition presents the biggest skating party in Wayne County. It's all going down Saturday, June 4th at Detroit Roller Wheels on Schoolcraft, 3 to 6 p.m. And and everything is free. That's right, we said everything is free to Wayne County residents. Register now on Eventbrite. Search Skating for Life. Only 300 people can register, so move fast. This is perfect for the entire family. Join me, Angie Starr, and the 1059 Street team will be on site. All attendees will receive free mental health resources. Saturday, June 4th, 3 to 6 p.m. Detroit Roller Wheels, 16611 Schoolcraft Road in Detroit between Greenfield and the Southfield Freeway. It's a whole vibe. Limit 300 and filling up fast. Register now on Eventbrite and search Skating for Life, Saturday, June 4th, 3 to 6 p.m. Detroit Roller Wheels on Schoolcraft in Detroit. This amazing skating party is sponsored by Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network.
I am Rose, and I am human, goal-oriented, conscientious, driven. Flagstar Bank is interested in me because Flagstar is driven by something called the human interest rate, which inspires Flagstar to create personalized saving solutions made for humans like me and everyone, which may be why Go Banking Rates named them one of the top 100 banks. Flagstar Bank, the power of the human interest rate. Learn more at flagstar.com/savings. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey Detroit, are you an entrepreneur looking to grow your business? Empowered by GoDaddy in partnership with Build Institute is hosting a free program that offers you all the tools you need to grow your small business. To see if you qualify, go to MasonMeansBusiness313.com. Would you like to share your small business story? I'd love to hear it. And what makes your business unique? You could be featured in an upcoming interview with me, Mason. Every business has a story. I want you to tell me about yours. Go to MasonMeansBusiness313.com to share your story today.
At Kroger, we believe it takes the right team to bring you the freshest produce. That's why we partner with farmers who grow only the best. And that level of teamwork means better, fresher options time and time again. Working with farmers is what it takes to be fresh for everyone. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Fire up the grill and save. USDA Choice Bone-In New York Strip Steaks are $6.77 a pound in the value pack with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 Biggie Bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're gonna feel when you get that Biggie Bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Compelling talk you can count on. The Mildred Gaddis Show is back on 105.9 KISS.
What are the lessons? What are the lessons? Pat, you're on the Mildred Gaddis Show.
Good morning, Mildred.
Hey.
Hey, how you been?
Good.
That's good. I am so tired of that narrative that, well, they're threatening our rights to bear arms. This is not about rights to bear arms. This is about those inhumane humans sitting in those seats in Congress who are on the payroll of the NRA. They are so concerned with getting campaign funds. They had a list of them. Mitt Romney was among one of them, and so was Ted Cruz, amongst others that we can imagine. Mitch McConnell. They're getting millions of dollars from the NRA so the NRA can keep their agenda. Just think about it, the more weapons sold, the more money for these Congress people. They don't care about the children. The handwriting was on the wall with Sandy Hook. I said, well, they don't care about their own children. Give me a break. My opinion, they should get rid of lobbying altogether. How can we call this a democracy when these conglomerates and corporations can pay these politicians off to promote their agendas? This is not a democracy. It's whoever has the money. So until they get rid of lobbying, we can forget about it. Thank you, Mildred, and have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you. You too, my dear. William, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Gaddis. No, the NRA, they have to compete with there's a new organization out now. I think it's called the Gun Owners of America or something of that nature. So the NRA is not going to pull back because they have to compete for membership against this organization now, because this organization is growing. And just like your previous caller said, it's really hard to give up, nice luxury homes, just because, somebody, want to stop somebody from buying a gun. These people, I mean, they're their lifestyles don't even come in touch with a lot of people who are affected by a lot of shootings. They don't even come in contact with those people. Only time they see those people is on TV. They don't see them in everyday. They may see them in everyday life, but they don't know who they are. Yeah, but that's one of the things. So the NRA has to compete against that, and And see, the right to bear arms was written into the Constitution at a time when another country could come into America. People could come into America and take over. So it was written into the Constitution then. But in the 21st century, there's no need for that right now.
Okay.
Because,
Listen, I got to run. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Al, you're on the air.
Mildred, this is Mr. Al Cannon. You're doing a good job. I love your program.
Thank you.
I think in time of peace, we need to prepare for war. All these shootings, and we got this war over here, coming over here and everything. I think people better arm themselves. But my mother told me before she passed, in time of peace, prepare for war. It looks like it's setting up to war to me. In time they're killing kids over here. They got Iraq over there, and we supposed to be next. I don't know. I don't have a gun, but I'm thinking about getting one.
May I ask you something? May I ask your age?
I'm 68 years old.
Okay. All right.
And I haven't had a gun since then. With all these wars, they're killing babies. I mean, the right to prepare arms. We got to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't know we got a war coming over here. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. I'm of a different mindset, but thank you so much. I respect you. You know that. Thank you so much. Linda, talk to me.
Hello, thank you for taking my call. The first thing I want to say, pure and simple, about the guns, no one, absolutely no one should be able to purchase a war-type gun like that young man had, not a single person. And the only person who should have them, and I hate that they should have them, is somebody actually marching into war. And I hate we have to have wars. But as far as the grief, I can understand that man dying of a heart attack. I felt that my heart was going to break when I heard how those kids were being slaughtered. And they're not my children, but I felt that my heart would break just the thought of that many children being slaughtered like that. And then for 19, and please don't misunderstand me, I love police officers and I respect them, and I'm not talking about all of them. But for 19 police officers to stand out there and let those children be slaughtered, because they always say they fear for their lives, and they seem to fear for their lives when somebody is running away from them and they shoot them in the back. So there's something inherently wrong with the police department when they're so fearful for their lives. They need to find a different profession. I'm just so sorry.
But you know what? You know what you need to understand, dear, is that they stood there because their commanders instructed them to.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah, because they were instructed to do that, and so they had to honor what the commander said. This was horrible policing. This was horrible policing, and I guarantee you that the leadership responsible for this, they're gone.
They need to be gone.
They're gone, and now you have the city that's going to have to pay in millions of dollars out, and the good news is they're insured. Because of ineffective policing.
Yes, ma'am.
Ineffective policing. This is just not. It's horrible. It's just really, really horrible. Well, let's see. This is an interesting thing about America. You let a tragedy occur, and everybody's feeling bad. Everybody's sorry. When Joe Floyd was killed, when Floyd was killed, you had all these corporations, talking about what they were going to do to honor what was right about America, and I don't know. I don't know how well that's gone in terms of what they were going to do in terms of providing equal access to opportunity. So they're in the moment now. America is in the mourning moment and they feel sorry. But let's just see what happens after the children are buried and life goes on.
Nothing will change, but thank you so much for taking my call. I pray that it will, but I believe it won't.
Thank you, my dear. Hi, Carolyn.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, my thing is they need to have the commander on up, and they all need to take accountability to what happened. They all need to be disciplined to the fullest. They all need to be just fired. This should never have happened, period. I hate to play the race card, but if these had been white children, they would have went in there immediately. They need to quit putting people's lives, just throwing it aside because of what the commander said. If you come up there and report to do a job to bring down the shooters and protect these kids, I would have went in there anyway. I don't care what the commander had said.
That's what you say. That's what you say. But there's a way to get things done. And
right.
no police officer should disobey the order from their superiors. They can't. I mean, that you can't do that because you could very well end up yourself being killed. I don't think, and it's not always about race, because there have been times with these school shootings with these children where the children have been all white and the police departments have not acted professionally and appropriately. But I doubt very seriously they said these are all brown children, so we're not going to worry about it. We're going to wait. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Listen, folk, there's a lot going on in the country, and tomorrow is a holiday. And it's that time we take a moment and honor and think about those who gave it all up so that we could be here enjoying democracy. Don't forget about these families and these children. I thank you all for hanging out with us here on the Mildred Gaddis Show. I know you've got many choices, many stations, and many things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, but I'm grateful that you spend it with us. I want you to know that an hour-long broadcast of this show will be on our sister station, Praise Network, on Saturdays from 5 to 6 a.m. and 105.1 The Bounce on Sundays from 6 until 7 a.m. You can always listen to the Mildred Gaddis Show podcast. Just text Mildred to the hotline number for the link to the podcast. Marcus D. Reed is the producer of the Mildred Gaddis Show. And as you head into this holiday week, I encourage you to wake up with no regrets. Love the ones who treat you right and forgive the ones who you don't. I'm Mildred Gaddis, and I'll see you on the radio.
WDMK-FM and WDMK-FM HD1. Detroit's new #1 for smooth R&B and old school. A Beasley Media Group station. Broadcasting from the Bet Rivers Online Casino.